All across this land, bereft with a history of water and warfare, the scars are still healing. All of us, each of us, is still healing. Welcome once again, friends, ladies, gents, and all those in between and beyond the binary of the internet, back to Neon Lights Roleplay. And more specifically, back to Steel and Arbor, our lovely little homebrew humblewood adventure for your lovely eyes. I am Foxy, your much for the duration of stream, and your guide to this lovely world that is the Endless Wood, and I have gathered with me a collection of intrepid souls, daring adventurers, wayward kindred flames, and kind friends, who will tell with me a tale most wondrous. I can tell you all about their deeds, character, and wondrous charms, but I think they could do that a little bit better themselves. So, friends, in the order that I call you out, please tell me who you are, who you're playing tonight, and where you can be found on the internet. Starting off right across from where I see in my personal face, someone who has recently taken a bar above and beyond and ascended to the new levels of Doctorhood themselves. Of course, talking about the one and only Sir Heckalon.
Yeah, I guess there would only be one of those in this
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah, there's only,
It's
only
like-
one of those here.
the rest I feel like last time it was just like, oh, like this could be anybody. We're all so cool. Oh hi
Not this
everybody.
time.
Hi everybody. It's me, Sir Heckalot. I'm here. I'm on your screen. As per usual, I am back with Katya Mustela, who is a Mapak warlock that is just an absolute chaos gremlin and ready to go. But yeah, that's me.
Glad to have you on board, and once again, congratulations. Up next, of course, someone stature tall, heart bold, and wit cunning. It is, of course, the one and only Lan the Dan.
Hello, that's me. I'm Lan the Dan, and tonight I'm playing Adlo Tamoya, our Oath of the Hospitalier Gerbine Paladin of great personal valor and hospitable disposition.
Incredibly glad to have you back on board with us, Dan. Up next, someone very near and dear to my own personal heart. Of course, talking about Neon Lights' one and only Michelle.
Hello, hello. It's me, Michelle, and today I'll be playing Coral, our Otterfolk Artificier, inventor and explorer, and also I don't know. I think that's it. She's a little bit distracted right now.
Inventor, explorer, and occasional flirt. And that's all you need to be out here, frankly. Lovely to have you on board with us.
Megaloboxer, but
That too, but we're getting there. Don't worry about it. Up next, someone who came into my life through this lovely little craft of ours, but who I simply could not see a near future without. I'm of course talking about the one and only Tate Washburn.
well, thank you, Foxy, and hello, Twitch, and hello, Internet. My name is Tate Washburn, and today I am playing Coriander de Clement, the scout rabbit folk, who is really trying to keep this entire party together. Just on
And
task.
I'd say doing a pretty good job at it.
Yeah. Stay on task, finish the thing. That's just what we gotta get done. That's it. And then we can go wild. It's fine.
Well,
Yeah.
let's hope wrangling the kittens isn't too hard tonight. Yeah, Corey? And of course, last but certainly very far from least, if you're anybody who knows anything about anyone, it is, of course, the one, the only, Lucian.
Hey, that's me. I'm Lucian. I'm playing Thag Shrubs, our Rune Knight fighter, Hedge. You can find me here, again, on this, and maybe one other show, depending on the time of day.
Oh.
It's true. That is how scheduling works. That's accurate. He's not wrong,
Exactly
you know?
how shows are.
Yeah. Generally,
Well-
when I'm not wrong, I am in fact right.
It's true. Well, glad to have you on board, friend. And once again, introducing myself as Foxy. I play everyone who is not these five incredible people, which is very hard to do because they are very good at their jobs. And as opposed to telling you all about that, how's about I just show you? Dear friends, last episode, you all began your delve into an ancient hollow, to an old tree emptied out and made into, well, that's the thing that's difficult to figure out. This ruin, this place you found yourself in, is ancient beyond reckoning, older even than the Great Flood, the deluge, which once cascaded over these lands more than 100 years ago, which, for forest folk is a pretty long goddamn time. Nonetheless, as you've been exploring and traipsing yourselves about and finding yourselves with various little, let's say, encounters to handle in, last session saw us come across what appears to be a bit of a tourist trap, so to speak. A way to keep those who aren't familiar with how to get around here out. In particular, a large spiked pit with a barbed rope spine leashed to the opposite side and a massive wooden log lashed with thick vines to the wall side of you. This pit, this chasm, gaping, is easily about 25, 30 so feet across, 20 feet down and maybe a good 15 feet high. And you can already see, even through the thin light of the thin torches you have around you, that there are jagged wooden spines sticking straight up at the bottom of this pit. A very clear sign for what awaits whoever might happen to fall their way down there if they aren't careful enough. I should also add, friends, that you have been trying, dare I say, to maintain the element of stealth while you're moving through here. Nonetheless, the old hollow remains yours to explore, the journey yours to endeavor upon, and, as I am so very, very fond to say, darlings, the scene is yours.
I think Corey is not that interested in the spike pit. At least not as much as his companions. I'm going to just sort of, with regular standard movement, if we're still doing like a limited distance at a time, he's going to come right around to this corner, and I think he's going to sit and listen to see if he hears anything coming out from the north there.
Not a peep. Just a gentle, slight rustling of wind.
Okay.
Looks like there's
Coral?
an
No, talk, please.
Oh, just looks like there's a door over here.
Over where?
Over. And Coral's gonna. Oh, you can't see it, can you?
I can.
Corey didn't say anything, but if Coral said there's a door over here, he probably just like, because she's right, just tapped him on the shoulder, and just trying not
Right.
to make noise.
Oh, right. And I feel like does Coral still have the just as a thought, because I'm pretty sure I expended. No, okay. Coral's just gonna like pick up a little rock, and expend one of her magical tinkering slots to give it a magical effect, and it's going to be light.
Oof.
How far can you throw, Coral?
How far can I throw? I have no clue, but it sheds bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light for an additional 5 feet.
All right. In that case, give me just a moment as I put down a light
Usually
for
you think about a equivalent weapon, and like you can't use it as a weapon, but like if it's a pebble the size of a dart, then it's like, what's that? 60 feet?
Yeah,
Pretty
I'm gonna. I
solid.
mean, it's the door isn't very far, so I can just say you can throw it up to the end of the hallway. I'm gonna put the light down and then modify it so it actually has the proper light properties. So you all can currently see it a bit more than you should, obviously. But let me fix that now for you as I give it 5 feet of bright light. You said it was 10 feet of dim light beyond that.
It's 5 feet of dim light beyond that.
5 and 5. Fixed.
Yeah.
You all hopefully should be able to see that properly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect.
At least
Thank
if
you,
you're-
Dynamic Lighting. Thank you, Roll20. Non-sponsored content.
Hashtag that's fun. Corey flinches a little as the stone hits the floor. Just
Didn't make that
Very
loud of a
close.
clatter.
thank you. The light is helpful. And he's not gonna go in the door unless right away, but he might, if it's all right, get up to the door.
Oh, well, I wouldn't worry about going through the door. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna. As a question for Coral, I assume the stone just kind of keeps doing this for a while.
The
It
effect
doesn't,
is
like, shine
basically
through clothes.
the effect is basically permanent until I stop using magical tinkering on this. Let's see.
Yeah, he's gonna pick up the stone and possibly just use it as a close light, and then whenever he's not using it, like put it in his cloak so that it's not visible.
Yeah.
Sure. In that case, if you'd like, I can transfer bright light over to you, Corey. I'll give you 5 feet of it.
Yeah.
And then I'll save settings. I'll go back to my light layer and I'll delete that. That should hopefully be working.
It is.
Perfect.
Huzzah. He'll spend some time inspecting this door, but I feel like you all can probably be doing other stuff at the moment.
I mean,
So we have to
I'm
roll that
curious. What's up with this door?
Sure. You two, I'll let you look at the door for a moment. Not a problem. Adlo, I assume you're just kind of posting up, keeping guard?
Yeah, I'll be. I mean, if they can't go through the door, then I guess there's not much point. But I'd probably be staying close by them.
Sure. Could you give me a quick survival roll from when you were standing next to that fire? Katya, if I can get one from you two, actually.
Okay.
Or some other roll. I'll let like perception too, just to
Ooh.
get a sense of that fire you were just walking by.
Oh,
That's
I'm
all.
bad at both of those. I don't have any wisdom.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Oof.
That lies
Oof.
beyond you years.
Oh no!
Well, with a
Hmm.
6 and a
Six
1,
and a 1.
hey, get them out now.
I didn't do
I'll say
fucking
even with-
shit.
Even with a roll that low,
Fire hot.
yeah, obviously fire hot, but I'd say beyond that, you can tell that this fire was definitely, this was an overnight fire. This was lit slowly over the evening and left to kind of like grow in strength over the evening and then fade out, by the time the morning came. So this was not a fire somebody lit recently and like they're on their way back. This was a fire someone lit to prepare to head to bed,
Yeah, thank you for humoring us. Our
I got you, babe.
shit-ass rules.
Completely out of character. Sorry, you didn't roll for that. That is very irresponsible firework. You don't do that. No, don't.
They're bandits.
Yes, and the Boy Scout in me thinks they should know better. They live in a goddamn tree, anyways.
That
Only
that
you can
aside-
prevent forest fires.
That
Yeah,
aside,
and they're not
Oh
doing
my
Bag.
god, can you imagine if like Corey's head was like on that instead of Smokey the Bear?
I can see it.
I need it.
You, the fan art.
I have art to share with you later already, actually, that I made years ago, but don't worry about it later.
So Fag,
Yeah.
I'm noticing you haven't moved from your spot. What's on your brain? What are you thinking about?
Oh
Yeah,
right
so-
now?
that is some unfortunate captioning, by the way.
Yep.
Oh no.
You know, we're gonna let it scroll past.
Can we do
talk-
like a
talk
disclaimer
of it
again?
real
You're
quick.
seeing the name
Yeah,
under
disclaimer.
Lucian, but like
If you haven't seen, Lucian's character's name is THAG. Caption Ninja doesn't like us. Ignore it. It's lit like
It's
we're
fine.
figuring it
It's
out. All
fine.
right.
They'll learn
Any
I'm not
case,
eventually.
allowed to say that.
Dear
It's the
Mr.
technology
Shrubs.
that's going, not us.
Yeah, so this whole time Thag's been kind of like poking at the wall, poking at the ground, and looking up at this piece of wood. And he turns to where his party used to be and starts saying, "So I reckon if I guys? Wait. Guys?
Katya's still there.
Katya's there.
Katya, where did they go?
oh, there's a little door over there.
Oh.
Yeah, they seem a lot more interested. I don't get it. There's a pit of spikes right there. Obviously,
and-
whatever's on the other side means like they don't want us to get to it.
I agree.
If I don't have to move on the map, I would love to interrupt this. Like Corey would want to say something, but won't shout down a hallway.
Well, Thag is certainly not being quiet. When he said guys,
Yeah.
you guys
Uh-huh.
probably heard that.
Okay,
We're so
very
good
visible
at this.
flinch. Just like, just in my head, Corey just dashes over to Katya so that you can both be seen. Just
Right.
and then go.
Does Corey run back to the door?
No, that depends on what he's seen to this point, but I don't know if he saw much. He might just let Coral handle that. She's probably gonna be better than that.
Well, if you don't mind, Lucian, can I handle them real quick with the door? Because I don't think that they won't be
Go-
going to the door
go
for very
for it.
long. We'll be
Go
right back.
for
Don't
it.
worry. I'll say both Corey and Coral are two C's. This is the C squad. You guys have been keeping an eye on this door for a moment, and well, the first thing you'll recognize is, much like the other door, it's locked. It is secured with some sort of ancient device. It does not look like any key you have ever seen in your life comfortably fits in this door. The imprint isn't like a keyhole. It's this oblong hexagonal shape.
Hmm. Does it look like it's gonna make a bunch of noise if someone tried to open it?
Hard to tell.
Does it look like any kind of lock that would make a reasonable amount of noise if someone were to open it?
It's an old ass lock.
Yeah, okay, then Corey doesn't care about it anymore. He just wanted to make sure there was no one there who was gonna sneak up on him. So he did not, in fact, go back.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like we've, besides seeing the hexagonal shape before, which is probably, Aluea stuff, like, did one of those kids have a pendant, something like, or
I like again that you're saying this to Corey, who has already left, because he is like just very stealthy generally. He's just fully Batmaning conversations repeatedly today.
like Coral's just like saying this to Corey, but Corey's already gone, and it's just, didn't one of those kids like have something like that, or am I remembering something wrong? Wait,
Does Adler react to that?
Corey?
Hmm?
He's the only other person there.
Oh, Adlo.
Yes.
Oh, we have no brain cells.
Oh no.
Oh
It's just,
I actually didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
just as a question, do you remember when we were fighting those kids? I feel like one of them had a pendant or something that was like the like that Aluea symbol, or am I remembering something wrong?
So I honestly don't remember enough details about that encounter to answer
The
this
answer is
question
yes,
in
by the way.
character.
In fact,
In-
I'll
in my
even go ahead
defen-
and get.
In my
I'll even let
defense,
you
it was
in a bit
month and
further in.
half ago.
I'll even let you a bit further in than that. It's not super uncommon to see people here and there, especially in the northern part of the Endless Wood, have symbols like that. Aluea is one of the Sentinels. They're revered figures throughout the Endless Wood, as well seen as guardians and protectors, mysterious figures from before the Deluge. Plenty of people worship or revere them. So yeah, not only yes, you're right. You did in fact see, encounter one of the children did have a pendant of Aluea on, but probably not even the first one you've seen.
Right. Well, we'll get back to that mystery later. Let's head back to the group then.
All right. As the group swings back together, Thag, you see your gang swinging around the corner, and you are suddenly no longer alone again.
Ah, there you guys are. What I was saying before is, if I go big again, I think I can reach that piece of wood up there. If not, I could also probably throw my hammer across. I could throw the Thagomizer across with some rope attached to it, and somebody, not me, but somebody could use that to get across maybe.
Well, I mean, we have this
You seek to make a
great
breach.
big. Yeah, we have this great big log. We might as well use it if we can find a way to drop it without making a whole bunch of noise. Possibly even just have you lift each of us up on it. We go across. We drop down. Or I guess I should ask the GM: is the vines like holding it to the ceiling of this space, or is it like?
It's lashed to the wall more.
Yeah, okay.
Ah, I see.
So there would be space to stand on it.
Yeah, they're like if you could stand on it pretty comfortably. You don't know how like tight its leash. You don't know if you putting weight on it might cause it to slip or break, possibly. But
Like Corey's
it looks
gonna go
like
first.
yeah, you could. There's enough height on it that you could definitely stand on top of the log if you wanted to. It's about a 15, a good solid 10, 15 feet up to get there. So
Hear me out. If I use my giant's might, could I just either pick people up and put them on it, or could I just let them climb up my back?
Thag, how tall are you normally?
That's
just
a
give me a number. It doesn't
question.
matter.
I will
You just give me a number. It
become
doesn't
the
matter.
bridge.
I
If we
don't
assume
know.
Your average medium is like 5 foot and change.
Yeah,
compared
and
to a
obviously we're
regular
scaling
medium
things up.
creature,
Thanks, a
where would you
big
put
guy.
that?
We're
Yeah.
scaling things down somewhat because of the sake of everyone being forced.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm pretty sure everyone except Adlo, I think, is medium. Funnily enough, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. If you blow Giant's Might, you could get big enough that you could odds. You getting up there on top of it might be difficult because
No.
it's called. You could probably pretty easily, especially with the increased carry weight you get from Giant's Might. You could probably pick anybody else in your party up and lift them on top of your and lift them up to the log.
Right.
Well, I think this is a question for Lucian and I. Has Thag explained like that he can only do that so many times a day to anyone?
No.
Even to Corey, who's traveled with him for a while?
Thag's pretty open about his abilities. I don't think it's come up though. So
Yeah,
far.
sure.
Yeah, I don't know how. I think Corey would probably, maybe in this case erroneously, trust Thag to measure those resources as to how important they are. So if he's already thinking of getting big, then
Yeah.
Corey'd be like, you could just lift me up there. I'll go across, make sure there's anything safe, and then at least make sure that it's not going to fall apart with other people walking across.
All right, great. I'm gonna use a Giant's Might.
All right.
Character, how many of those you got today?
I'll give you a hint. I have none left.
Yep.
Oh dear.
Listen, go ahead. Feel free to use your limited resources for the sake of this narrative encounter. I love when that
Exactly.
happens.
Yeah.
All right, Corey, you're probably going to want to step out of the way as you start suddenly realizing that the back of Thag's sort of
Yeah.
spines suddenly start pushing you closer into that row of spikes there until
Yeah, it's
Whoa,
like, oh no,
boom.
2 spines. Oh no.
Big.
All right.
biggest
Who
match.
wants to go first?
Wow.
No, no
I'll
definitely
volunteers.
make some rolls, huh? Hold on, give me a minute.
I'll
Go ahead,
say
keep doing your things, friends.
All right.
Corey
Well,
is
I'm
attempting
gonna,
to get your attention without saying anything.
all right, I'm gonna pick up Coriander. Put Coriander up first.
All right. Does it hold?
Ooh,
Or do I
okay.
need to suddenly make a dex check? A dex
You're being
save. Let's find
placed
out.
on it, and you're pretty light on your feet, so I'm gonna need an agility check, but it's gonna be lower difficulty than if you just landed on it normally. You're not jumping onto it.
Okay.
You're being placed onto it. So give me a quick little
Acrobatics check, yeah.
acrobatics. That's what I meant. Yeah. An 11's still good enough, thankfully.
Use
Funnily enough,
agility.
it wouldn't have been good enough if you were jumping on this thing. Funnily enough, I'll give you that. So,
Mhm.
Corey, you place your feet down, and you immediately feel like a wobble in this, and you recognize these vines aren't necessarily leashing this log to the wall. They're suspending it next to it. So this log is a little loose as you immediately start having to
Mhm.
keep very light on your feet. You can feel free to move yourself up
Yeah.
on top of it if you want. No, I'll go slide you right up there with no problem. You're on it and you're secure. You're pretty certain you're not gonna fall. You can definitely move across it with no problem, no issue. But as you're moving across, you're recognizing, oh, yeah, no, these vines aren't made to lash this thing to it in place. They're meant to keep it up and out of the way when whoever's not trying to make this a bridge isn't using it.
Ah.
Yeah, so it's definitely. Can I say that I understand that? It's like, oh, this is clearly meant to be the bridge, and it is just in a suspended.
Oh,
state.
easily, yeah. No, I think you can gather that enough when you recognize how it's leashed. I think you can realize that.
Yeah. Then I think Corey, before he moves down the bridge, just gently leans backwards towards Thag as to not fall over, and just, it's pretty shaky up here. We can find a way to lower it. It would be better. But I'll see what's up ahead. You guys start brainstorming. And yeah, I'll let them figure out if they want to keep doing that. And if you don't mind, to get to the other end of this bridge.
Go on.
And
Fair
I think he does put the stone away before he gets close to the corner and hope that the fire pit is enough. But he is going to, when it's his turn again, look around the corner.
Sure. Anybody else doing anything while you watching Corey seem to tiptoe their little way across this log?
I mean,
Who's next?
Did we hear that that's what the gist is about how this thing is positioned?
Corey told Thag.
Yeah.
as soon
Corey
as
told
Thag
Thag.
I don't know if the
Yeah.
rest of us did.
I think Corey did measure that volume very specifically because he's trying not to be heard.
I think Thag wants there to be at least 2 people on the other side, just in case. So he's probably not going to mention anything and just be like, Who's next?
Not Coral. I'm pretty sure one, Coral's too heavy, and two, Coral is busy staring at the lever pulley system, if there is one. Or looking for
Ah,
one.
I see. Okay.
Looking
Coral,
for
So
how
devices.
far is your dark vision again?
My dark vision?
Yes.
Double
60
checking.
feet, I think.
I think it's 60 feet, yeah.
Okay. Well, then, Coral, you might want to move somewhat so you can see down the hallway because currently you're being blocked by the wall. But yeah, okay, cool. Katya, I saw some considerations from you over there.
yeah, well, I mean, like, if that's not like knowledge that she has, like, she would probably just be like, okay, I'll go next.
Because yeah,
All right.
clearly
Up
Aldo
yours.
should be next. Adlo should be next. However, would Adlo go next without knowing that it is precarious, or would?
I mean, if Katya's
That's
stepping
the
up, we're gonna let Katya do
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
exactly.
Thag's gonna pick up Katya and put her up on the log.
Katya, give me a quick little acrobatics check.
Oh boy.
Roll better than me. Hey!
Woo. It's again,
Bad.
you're not as maybe like not as dexterous as someone like Corey, so it's less of an immediate like shifting of your weight and more just like when you put your, especially with Corey already on this thing, when you put your foot on it, you feel it lurch a little, almost kind of like roll in place, just a little bit, enough that you're like you can still catch yourself and you know and hang on to the vines and you're okay, no problem. But you are definitely certain you cannot fit a single other pound on this thing, or those vines are snapping.
I do think Corey, now realizing that there's still people getting on here, and his intention was not no, just turns around. Just,
Okay, that was the last one. And Thag will kind of will turn to Coral and Adlo and go, "Sorry, no ride today."
uh,
How do you intend to ford this gap?
I was kind of hoping I wouldn't have to.
Corey has a backup
would
plan
have us
depending on what
leave
he's
you
doing on this
behind?
corner.
Anyone mind if
All
I
right.
make an investigation roll?
Yes,
Please
Coral,
do.
please go ahead and make an investigation roll for me. That'd be fantastic.
Yes.
24.
24.
Coral, you have been eyeing the weight of this thing as Corey and Katya step on this, seeing the way it shifts. When Katya grabs a vine, you see that the part of the log that she's on gives just a little bit, and you recognize it's a pulley. And in fact, with your dark vision, you can see right at the bottom, not too far from where Corey's about to leap down to, several jumbles of tangled vine that are definitely look like they've been messed with and pulled occasionally. And that's when you start realizing, oh, okay, so they lower the vines to pull the bridge down and they climb across it that way. That makes perfect sense. I mean, if there's enough gerbine here, they can probably just hop the gap or climb over on the walls and then lower the bridge for whoever can't jump it. That makes perfect sense. Corey's not strong enough to pull that thing by himself, though. It's a multi-person
With my
pulley,
13
and you recognize that
strength.
immediately. It's a
All right.
multi-person pulley. Corey
That's
and
right.
Katya, probably, maybe, depending on how good of a heave they can give.
Yeah, what's
But if you want-
Katya's strength score?
I have +1.
The
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
only other consideration, though, and I think Coral, you can tell that with the 24. This thing does not come down quiet unless you have enough force to deliberately, slowly lower it, which is a lot harder than just slackening the weight on the vines.
All right.
Now, out of character very quickly. We have a great big boy Fag.
You have to get
Can
him
it
over
be
there.
manipulated
Exactly
from
the
the
problem.
side
No,
of
no.
the?
He can just hold the log. How big is it compared to him, and how strong is he? Is my point.
We'll figure that out. Is what we'll have to. As I think what we're working with here.
Yeah.
Coral, you
So-
were saying?
Adlo, as soon as and Katya, as soon as you get over, Katya, can you see that small tangle of vines over there?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the pulley system. I'm gonna need you to tell Corey that the two of you need to wait for Adlo to get across so you can slowly let go of the pulley, and that'll put the bridge down.
Okay.
Thag, I'm gonna need you to hold onto that bridge because that's gonna be really heavy.
Okay.
All right, big guy. Adlo, think you can make it across once Katya's over?
I won't even need that long. Do not underestimate a Gerbine, my fair ward. And with that,
Oh,
Adlo
no.
will just jump across the chasm.
Oh yeah, you've got like a 30-foot standing leap or some shit.
Right.
I totally forgot about that until just now.
He's a little kangaroo man. Coriander thinks he's got hops in this group, and then he like sees this happen because there's a fire. It's like, just like, nope, that's pretty good. 'Cause, like internally, he's like, "Yep, he's got me beat." Damn.
Yeah, white boy got hops. So,
In this case,
At-
Corey is the white boy. Let's be real.
it's true.
Mouse
so-
boy.
Corey,
Yeah,
Katya,
cool
I'll
dude,
let
yeah.
you both comfortably get down off the log with no checks and rolls. You can hop down to that corner if you'd like. Go ahead.
I'll do it.
I do think
Now. Mhm.
Oh, I just think Corey does sort of like very carefully do this and try and like get to a spot where he can see around this corner.
Absolutely. Now, Corey, you don't necessarily have the best dark vision, so it's a little hard for you to exactly tell, but you can definitely see a couple of dim lights in the room you sort of peek your head into.
Yeah. It seems like there's some kind of light source in there. It seems. Do I
Mhm.
hear anything while they're getting over here?
Actually, give me 1 second. Snoring.
Because
You hear snoring.
Oh, goody.
this presents an interesting dilemma for Corey. I think we get a close up of him for a second, and like his hood is down, the ears are flopping, and he's like close to the ground, and he hears this, and like we get like a zoom in on his ear, and we can hear the snoring, and yeah, like you're joking with the pantomime English, but there's a small part of him that he goes, see him go forward, and then go back, and just. And he's gonna turn around to Katya and Adlo, especially Adlo is someone who specifically asked for this. Is just there's sleeping people in the room over there. I think I hear snoring, and there's a light. It's going to be a lot harder to tie up people who are sleeping naturally than knocked unconscious.
Can we knock them out before they wake?
That's not how. I mean. This is the conflict of that's a trope, definitely, but also no, that's not how that works. Like in real life. So I'm asking the GM, is that a thing that we know we can do?
You would have to wake them up and then knock them out, but you could knock them out in the moment they are awakening.
Like if we did a non-lethal amount of damage equal to their health in one strike while they're asleep, can we just like effectively do that?
Yes.
Okay, Corey has a little confidence in himself on that one now. Hold on. Corey's like, well, you and I probably have the best chance of this, but yeah, we could try and gently incapacitate them while they're asleep.
Do we have any idea if these are just more like
I haven't
low-level
seen yet.
grunts, or are these like higher level, or like higher up in the ranks?
We'll find out when we go around the corner. I don't think that would be something you could tell from snoring, personally, so I don't know that I want to roll to find that out. Does he snore real strong?
Does he have a commanding snore?
So I do think, especially for just the two who were here, and like, Kathy, you're part of this conversation as much as you'd like to be. Just, well, I think I can at least do one. I can take one guy out. I don't know how many are there. Who wants to? Again, not having any idea as to how long Thag's giants might last. He hasn't. Corey hasn't been told. He's like, yeah, he's got that.
How long does
Just try and
giants might
stick
last?
with
It's like, is it like 8 rounds, 10 rounds?
Is it a minute? Is it 10
1
minutes?
minute.
Yeah, it's a minute.
Yeah.
In that case, Fag, you probably are about a little bit more than halfway through your time.
That's about right. Yeah. Okay.
You know what?
Yeah, so that's why it's like, oh, maybe prioritizing getting this thing down first because we have limited
Yeah.
time for him to be able to
You know what?
lift that.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
I think
we'll
Corey
have a
might
better chance
do this.
of doing it quietly, or trying to do it quietly with 3 of us on the pulley than trying to take
Also-
out, even lethally trying to take out whoever we see
Yeah.
sleeping, then lowering it and most likely making enough noise to bring the whole fort down on
Yeah.
us.
I also think Corey internally thinks, yeah, and I can hide in this little corner I have myself, and when they come around to see who is doing this with the bridge, jump somebody. Still, it's the same
So-
equation either way for him.
Here's what we're gonna do. For my 3 friends working the police, I need raw, simple strength saves. Or strength
All
checks.
right.
Strength save.
Okay.
Strength checks, sorry, strength checks.
Oh.
For my man
Yeah, this
working
would
the
be
working the other end.
Working the log.
For my man working the log,
Working
I
the
need
big
an actual,
wood.
I need an athletics check.
An
For my
athletics
person
check.
coordinating, Coral, I need something intelligence based here. I want to say like a. I'll accept perception. I'll accept
Now,
an investigation.
Uh-huh.
Really, I think I'll accept investigation. I'll accept investigation, but that's more just for you like keeping an eye on things and like. Okay, here's what I'll say. Coral, you can either roll perception, which will be
Yep.
you actually helping with them do this, or you can roll investigation, which is not you're going to be you helping. That'll be you watching for a fail state and going stop right now before something goes horribly wrong. Your call.
More likely
Answer
to succeed on stopping at a fail state, so we're gonna go with that one.
All right, investigation it is. 20 is good. Fag, can I get your athletics?
Yeah, real quick. With Giant's Might, I have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. That's different, yeah?
Yes.
Or is it?
No. This will count here.
Okay, cool.
And athletics is a type of strength. Check.
Ooh,
Oh,
double
10.
tens.
oh,
Double tens. Wow.
so I also have advantage on strength if I'm near an ally. But,
You're right. It's true.
yes.
That's a 21 then, not a 4.
Yeah.
That actually just saved your life.
Yeah,
by the
it's
way.
like that
Not
really
literally,
matters right
but-
now.
So, Katya,
I'm not taking a devil's
Coral,
bargain for this.
Katya, Corey, Adlo, you all get a good bundle of vine under you and try to give very slow, gentle heave. In fact, it's more actually what you need to do is, like, all 3 of you start slowly lowering. Fag, you're prepared. You've got both hands on this thing. It's as you're doing this that you recognize because you are holding it, Fag, as it's coming down, it comes at an uneven angle and slips a bit. It cuffs you. I mean, like, right under the chin. It doesn't, like, hurt, but it definitely knocks you back a bit, and you feel something start slipping from your hands. Coral, you see it all happening in your mind. Fag lets go. This thing swings, knocks Adlo and Katya off their feet down the hallway, then hits the ground making a giant noise. A bunch of bandits wake up, and you're all fucked. Adlo, with the most enormous heave of strength he can possibly, just
strength.
over his shoulder and practically running the other direction with this thing. Just screaming as hard as he can. Not literally screaming, but just muscles heaving as he like yams on this thing. Almost off his feet, is able to slowly bring it back into level. And you guys can very, very gently roll it down to the point where it nestles in 2 small divots on either side of the chasm and comes to a very gentle, slow stop.
Damn.
Quiet. When I mean you were this close to failing that, and I mean
Exactly one more
like,
success, huh?
thi-
Thank,
You need
this
one more
close.
success.
thank
like-
goodness for advantage.
friends. Nonetheless, here I'll even draw a little box for you guys so you can see, make sure you have the right idea for it. Presume there is now a nice wooden log hanging out in the middle of that area there. Here you go, friends. Enjoy.
Perfect.
Secondly, oh wait, Katya, you also have dark vision, yeah?
Yeah, for 120 feet.
Oh, then there's
The
no way
most
you
dark
wouldn't.
vision.
Actually, give me a quick
Hers
perception
is
check.
also perfect. Hers
Mhm.
isn't in dim
Yeah,
light.
Devil
It
sight,
is
baby.
fully light.
Give me a quick little perception check if you don't mind.
15.
15's more than enough. And I guess I could just do this the old-fashioned way. Katya, you swear that pile of rubble off to your right over here looks like it's not set into the wall. In fact,
Ooh.
you might see just the tiniest, and I mean the ember-thin, faintest glow emanating from under that little pile of rocks, it looks like.
I love that the map is showing us a tiny sliver of like light going into that room. That's like so thematically that exact thing. I appreciate
it's so
that.
good. I mean, yeah.
Thank
like,
you, Roll20, non-sponsored content.
Oh my god, the
Tech not sponsor.
Katya's pupils would get like so huge. With her little beady eyes go over to it. Guys,
Yeah,
I think it's a secret tunnel.
That's a great name.
It's exactly that, honestly, Katya. It's exactly that. The entryway is kind of small. Like, you probably have to squeeze to get through there, all of you except for maybe Adlo, if you want to get through it. But yeah, if you shuffle a rock or two, yeah, looks like it's a not very well hidden tunnel.
Yeah, very, very carefully too. Let's not make sounds.
Can you put me
all
back
right,
to
and-
normal size, by the way?
Oh yeah, I got you. Sorry about that, boss.
Thanks.
I think also Corey is at the end of the log and just like before Adlo can get halfway, just right from just
So,
Why is he telling
Looks
that to
like-
me? I'm already over there.
it's
sorry,
true.
Tag. God damn it, Tag.
Sorry about that, guys. I
What'd
almost
I
fucked
do?
it up.
We'll get rid of that now. Send it to the back. There we go.
I was about to be like, oh no, the log crushed Corey.
He's standing on
So,
that.
Katya, are you planning on going fully into the tunnel? Like just
I
all
mean,
the?
I
Are you
just
going all the way, or
wanted
you're
to
like waiting for
peek,
everybody?
And then I was like, ah, shit.
It's up to you. I mean, so it looks like you guys are a bit of an impasse. You can either go left and take a look at what might be happening with whoever's sleeping over there, or you could check out the tunnel on the right.
Well, I can see through, and I can see the. Hey, it's that kid who stole my earring.
Yeah. In fact, if y'all want to go ahead and just step on in, it's totally fine. Because I mean, it's like I'll let you if you want. Because like as you're picking through Coral, yeah, you see a couple Drbeen sort of run by the small hole in the tunnel.
Ooh. Corey's actually for that. The other people who are unconscious might stay unconscious if we get in there, close the door, and make them not make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Y'all
Are
do
they
that
awake
first.
or are they asleep?
No idea.
You saw them moving, so they seem like they're awake.
Shoot, they're awake.
Decidedly not asleep.
That's why we should get in the door
Yeah,
fast.
we should probably silence the awake people then. I agree
Yeah.
with this.
They're kids.
Well, I'm not
I mean,
saying
listen-
not
Yeah,
to be
not in
conscious.
like a
Might-
violent way, but like be like.
We have two charisma people who can maybe intimidate some children into not ratting on us. Pardon the
Hey,
pun.
hey.
Yeah, like
What do you mean by that phrase?
Whoa, now
Oh
let's
my.
take
Corey
it
would
easy,
not
all
be
right?
saying that. This is me. You can blame Tate Washburn for that.
That's
Not
hilarious. All right,
Okay,
so
it sounds like we're going in.
all right,
All
friends. Who's
All
going in
right,
first?
I
Just tell me
will.
who's going in first. Just tell me who's going in first. Who's the first one through?
I would say probably Cor, just as the one who's
Yeah,
at the door, or Katya's the one who opened it. Like those are the two that it
exactly.
seems
Yeah,
like.
between the
would be.
two
Yeah.
of us, probably.
I'll say you two can both kind of get through it. Not at the same time, but I'll say quickly, Katya followed by Coral, you both kind of slide through. And while you're not like literally greeted with one, you can see all three of the Drbeen kids who you encountered earlier with their bandanas. One of them is holding a knife shakily and pointing it in your direction. Just, hey, all right, no more closer. Hey, you're that old lady from earlier.
Old lady.
Oh no.
Wait.
Now you're dead.
Excuse me?
Serious bunny hours. Let's go.
I feel like Adela needs to rush through to hold her back at this point.
The other one goes, yeah, the one we stole this one from, and pulls out what looks exactly like your feathered earring. The third one goes, idiot, you're not supposed to show them that! And he goes, oh, sorry, puts it away.
How about a trade then?
He turns, you shouldn't be here. If Sylv sees you, he's gonna kill you.
Can I, as a little side note, mid this conversation, in my head, maybe Adlo can get in before this, but Corey, instead of even closing it, just like moves Thag's back so that his back is now facing the door and just covering it as the biggest person here.
Sure, I think that's perfectly fine.
To keep a little like silence, just like he's just watching the door with the unconscious people, like.
Yeah, Thag will body block the door. Sure, why not?
Sure.
Yeah, you could have resisted it, but that's definitely what he just tries to do without asking anyone. Just...
In fact, you'll notice this one is going to. They're both going. They're all, a lot. They, a few. They are stepping back. Like they are giving you guys space to come in. Not like they're trying to invite you in, but they are clearly not trying to. Well, fight.
Yeah,
you guys.
get close
Yeah.
to us at all. Well, if you don't return what you stole, that whoever you just said is gonna be the least of your problems.
And they kind
Yeah,
of
this
look
murderous bunny.
around. They all kind of look around, and the over on the right goes, Tony, maybe we should just give it back. I don't know. They seem like they're really. I mean, they came all the way here to get it. Maybe it's like important to them or something. Another one goes, listen, just shut up, okay? Sylvantana said we had to bring something back or else we would be in a lot of trouble. We haven't been eating enough. We gotta keep money in.
Coral is going to pull out one of the bear claws that she got from the stall owner and
All
just
three of them stop talking and just snap their eyes over to you.
seem like a fair trade. And if not, I can teach you guys how to fix things, make things.
The one in the corner who had already been identified as Tani takes a step forward. You only got one of those?
I, Coral, only have one. But does anybody else have one?
The other one I
Wait,
gave to the mayor, so no, Katya does not.
They have
Um,
other rations though.
Yeah,
That's
you
fair.
can easily have other rations and such.
It's like, well, this is the only bear claw I have, but I've got extra rations.
Did we
think
each
last
take
time
a
we
bear
said-
claw, or did
Yeah, we each
Coral
took one.
and Katya?
Everyone took
'Cause I
one.
don't-
Katya took two
Alright.
because she gave one to the speaker.
Yeah, because I don't think Adlo's eaten his. Yet.
Yeah, Adlo, you usually have yours if you like.
All right,
And we established we all have rations if we have those in our pack,
Yeah.
and I believe
that's also true.
I believe we said that the corals were dried squid,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about
and
that.
like Corey has like a cranberry. He has like a dried cranberries. I think is like the thing, and it's the nuts and such. So we all have like a treat, a little probably.
So, the two who appear to be stepping towards you all, who actually, Tani, the one who had that device, says, "Hey, Taylor, you still have it, right?" And she kind of pulls it from behind her back and holds the earring up sheepishly and just, "Yeah, it's really pretty. I figured we could sell it for a little, but that does smell really good."
You can have this first then.
She looks at you really sheepishly as if she's like, "This is bullshit." And then
I'm just gonna give it.
yeah, she snatches it, just like, looks at your hand, looks at it for a bit, sniffs it,
Smells it real quick. Yeah.
and then just like takes a huge bite. And like,
Hey, don't eat too fast if you're. Oh, too late.
And then- and just looks backward. "Hey, Ajani, here!" And tosses it, and the one in the back catches it. And sheepishly eats it up and just, "I told you to stop calling me that."
Corey in the back of his head. There can be odorless and tasteless poisons. This is really not a great idea, but
But
do I look like the kind of person who would poison my own food?
No. he didn't say that. That's just in his head. Like he just.
No, he's
Also,
saying
don't-
that he
you
would
don't-
do it and then not tell you.
so it's as they're they'll take their and Adlo, Tani comes up to you and like takes yours from you. But again, both handed, very sheepishly, like takes it from your hands, pulls it like to his chest first for a moment, and is like, and then slowly backs up, and the three of them kind of just like huddle up for a minute over here, just eating, just feeding frenzying on these things for a moment. But eventually they look up, and the middle, Ajani, who you can kind of recognize is probably about the leader of the group, you know, the one who kind of keeps them all in line, taps Taylor's shoulder, and Taylor chucks the earring back at you, Coral.
Thanks.
Assuming that I can hear all this, I think that Coriander would try and push Thag in, but he would enter as well. He wants to.
Yeah,
He just wanted to make
come
sure
on
it
in.
wasn't going to be screaming.
Ajani looks up and just, so why are all of you here?
So this is my sister's.
Well, we came to get the earring, of course.
You sisters. She important to you?
I wouldn't be here if she wasn't.
He looks at Taylor over at Tani. Yeah, okay. I get it. You shouldn't be here, though. Sylv and Tala might be nice to people if they need things, but they're real. They're killers. If they catch you snooping around like this...
Then why are you hanging around with them?
They took us in after Mom and Dad died. They taught us how to pick up what we needed. Said if we earned our keep, they'd make sure we were real taken care of. And they've been doing it. It's not... we're not hungry because of them. It's just... things are hard right now. You know?
I don't think you have that quite right. To earn your keep typically means to do it, you know, not through theft. There's a difference between earning and thieving.
Well, Sylv says Krell told him that when you live like us, you take what you can and you earn what you take. It's the law of the untamed forest. Tani kind of bops him on the head. Savage wild, idiot. Law of the savage wild.
Is any of
Right,
what they're
understood.
saying making like any sort of sense
Yeah.
or like anything that we have heard of?
Is it something we've heard before?
Katya, given that you're from Narth, and I think because the Bloodied Fang are a pretty largely recognized group of bandits, and they're very disorganized, but you all know that that loose code, the law of the savage wild, is basically what keeps them. It's their thieves' honor, effectively.
Right, and so now that we're here, and we're gonna catch or kill all of the rest of the Bloodied Fang that are here, what are you guys gonna do then?
You're gonna do what?
Corey is, I think, suddenly in front of all of them. He is not normally intimidating, but I do think that he is a dark and very fast presence to try and get them to shut up immediately. And if you need me to roll like something to try and do that,
These are
He's trying to
terrified children.
interrupt
You
them.
don't need to try
Yeah.
very hard to scare them.
and just
I was about to
if, like,
offer to help with the intimidate check.
Oh my god, y'all.
Yeah.
So just stand behind him menacing.
Well, because I think he says this so quietly, but so like directly at them is they live by the code of the savage wilds, which includes taking things from other people by force. We are taking this place from them by force. And do you truly believe they'll do so willingly?
You can see that they're trying to articulate something that's clearly a very complex thing for a child to work their way through. And Ajani eventually just says, like, they aren't bad people, all of them.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay, they do some bad things, but
Corey is gonna kneel down in front of them to get at their eye level and take his hood off. And he
Ajani straightens his back as much as he can, and even though there's like tears in the corner of his eyes, he just, I'm not scared of you.
Corey has the most genuine face that he can possibly put on as someone who has no ability to like lie really. Like he's so bad at putting on anything. And just very genuinely, good people wouldn't make you go hungry just because you're not good at the job they gave you.
He turns. You wouldn't get it. But if you think it's so serious, so straightforward, you can just go talk to them yourself. And they'll tell you.
Tell us what?
It's hard. Harvests, I hear they've been low. People in the town don't have enough to eat, and so, well, it gets even harder for us. They're not starving us. All of us are starving.
Look, kid, we're not saying it's your fault. What we're saying is, we've got a job to do here. And at the end of our job, you're not really going to have a place left.
More importantly, this place, and Coral's gonna take a look at around in this room. Can this even be qualified as a room? I want to take a I just want to take a quick glance
It is
at like, the beds and stuff.
It's an oversized mouse hovel. This is just a decent little hovel they've dug out for themselves in the middle of this little spot full of bandits. And not as if like they aren't allowed to be here. It's clearly the bandits let them do it, but this is their little den they've dug out.
Like, just your bandit friends killed people. They killed people like your mom and dad. And I don't know about you, but those aren't the kind of people that you should be hanging out with. Yeah. Now, one thing that we can do for you, what we can do for you is take you to the village and give you, and I can introduce you to the guild master. Get you apprenticed. Give you a job where you earn your keep.
Ajani suddenly stands up. Coral, give me a persuasion, a diplomacy, a charisma check. Use your socials.
I have no socials. What socials do you speak of?
Don't worry. This is less about good versus bad and more just about like what happens next. Don't worry about it. This is not a fail state.
All right. Well, I'll give you a I'll give you a -1 persuasion roll.
Hey,
With a
that's
16.
bad.
Not bad.
Ajani stands up, fixes you all with again that same like mustering everything he can to amount to looking like confidence and lack of fear. Looks you dead in the eyes. All of you, dead in the eyes. Stay here. Don't move. I'll be right back. And without saying another word, is just starting to slide his way out of the hole.
Can I get an insight on that?
Yeah, go ahead. Give me an insight roll.
Yeah. Where's the... Aha.
I'm just gonna... 19.
19.
You saw his look falter a bit before he took off. Something Coral said got to him.
Okay. I guess the question really is more,
Where is he going?
is this someone who is going to rat us out? Like, I think that we understand where he's going. But is
I
he
mean-
about to...
I don't think you know him well enough to know that. You know what? I think it's even better for the drama. I think it's up to you in this moment. You have to decide right now, do you trust this kid?
Then I'll ask a different question. Something that Coral said got to him. That's what the sort of thing is.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to think how Corey would judge this, because I think that's the interesting question to ask. Does he look like a kid on a mission?
Yes.
Like someone who's stealing themselves for something?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
All right, then Corey's gonna let him go but also is going to try and stealth behind him at a somewhat reasonable distance. I don't know. Even if it has to be like around corners as opposed to actually behind him, since I assume he's got better dark vision than me.
If you want, Corey, you can creep to like this corner over here.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then, Corey, you watch him creep up and give me a stealth check just to see if he notices you at all. Don't worry, again, it's not a fail
Oh,
state.
yeah.
With an 11, he does
I mean, it's
see
a-
you up behind him and just looks and is like, stop. As in, like, waves you back a bit. He creeps around a corner, slinks over somewhere, and then appears to slink back around the corner. Doesn't even acknowledge you, walks right past
Hey.
you, and walks
Yeah.
back into the hole.
That's fair.
Turns around. Jermaine keeps Sylph's key. He's in the keep in the main room. If you can get people out of here without killing them, then I'd rather you do that than fight people.
Definitely do our best.
We've already knocked out a bunch of them.
I'm debating.
Either way,
Sorry, you guys go for a second.
we're gonna take care of the rest of this. Find any of us back at the festival after. And if you want to get out of the town, if you want to leave to maybe somewhere further away where people don't recognize you, come find me. I'll figure something out.
What's your name?
Thag Shrubs. Look for, and he's gonna pull out a coin. On the front of it is a big ol' hammer. On the back is a bush where every leaf is a different tool. And he's gonna hold it up and go, see this bush? There'll be there's gonna be a booth at the festival with this symbol above it. Look for them and they'll find me.
He looks at the coin very firmly, hands it back to you. Got it. We will.
Where you go? And Coral is gonna like pull out her spare rations, and then also I'm gonna expend the last of my magical tinkering slots. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a object with a so like it's basically just like a quick sketch of the quick question, what is the Inventors Guild in?
The Inventors Guild, the Tinkerers Guild, as they're known, so they're a bit spread out, obviously, but there is probably an agent of the Tinkerers Guild at the Guild Hall in Narn.
So she's gonna just do like a quick sketch of the Tinkerers Guild's I guess crest.
Yes, which I'm pretty sure I made. I think. Let me look. I'm pulling up the rule level. Don't mind me. Go ahead.
Yeah, you make that.
Yeah, fair enough. Go on. Keep going.
And it's just going to she's just gonna like fold it up and just utter a quick message. Get these kids apprenticed. I think they have some talent. And 6 seconds. Message has been recorded, and then the last like 3 seconds is just going to be charge their startup I guess apprenticeship fees to me.
That's very sweet. They hear you say this as you hand them the small object, and I think it's Taylor who takes it and is almost enamored with the way you've like inscribed, like your technical magic almost into this, and is playing around with it. And she looks just a bit wide-eyed, and they turn, and simultaneously, all three of them at the exact same time in the same tone. Thank you.
But to play it, it'll last as long as I can manage it.
We'll get clear once things are quiet. And if there's nothing else, friends, you're free to depart. You have a key you're pretty certain unlocks that central chamber in the main room. The log is still down, letting you pass the chasm with no problem. And those 3 bandits off in the bottom there are still silently sleeping.
Just for my edification, I would stand there. Yeah, that's just a solid wall. I wanted to make sure. I think there is a moment Corey considers telling them that technically one of them is already dead, and he decides not to, I think. Like, from outside the door where he sat is just... Close it. Behind everyone.
Well, friends, you're free to depart and traverse as you'd like. As I'll settle the music from the less tense moment that we were just in, back to a bit of calm quiet as you move through the dungeon ambiently. Creeping your way back across the log, through down here where you know is the other chamber, and of course, you can head back towards the main area. There's that door you closed earlier. Feel free to go and open it. I'm going to close the door behind the kids because they're going to hang out here until...
Do we want to check out that other door that had the similar lock up here, or
That one doesn't have the same lock.
That's a different lock.
Yeah, we
And
don't
as
have a...
Distinctively different lock.
Yeah. And as the kids just mentioned, they gave us the key to the main entrance, and the person in the main entrance has the key to the secondary entrance. Second
okay.
entrance.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
So, friends, feel free to slide your way on over to the other door.
Slide to the left.
You make your way,
think
returning to that
there-
ancient, massive door. Sorry, go ahead, Corey.
I was gonna say, I think narratively Corey is still like very vigilantly scouting it out. Not to like roll or anything, but it's like he has not dropped this vigilance.
Totally fine. As you approach the door, Coral, you could see this ancient locking mechanism that this key, again, it still takes a bit of finessing because it's a very old key and a very old lock, but you're able to gently slide it into place and twist. You have to kind of twist it almost twice over to kind of properly align all the pins and then give an upward pull and then pull backward. You can hear several old grinding gears click and unlock, and eventually, you're pretty sure that door is nice and open, nice and unlocked.
I'm pocketing this key. This is a priceless artifact. I'm keeping this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're keeping it?
All right.
God damn it.
Death.
Bonk. Bonk.
Well,
You're welcome to
the
try.
door, I'm pretty sure you guys can open that door if you want
Yeah.
on your own. It's no longer locked.
Do
Yeah.
it.
Who's going in? Who's first?
I'll go first. Adlo.
Do
All
it.
right. You step through Adlo and find yourself in front of another door. This one,
Oh,
well, it looks it's just as ornate as the last one. It is very clearly not made to be locked. And you can not only, I think, all of you, I mean, not only can you hear a slow rumbling fire that clearly smells like seems like a more active fire that's probably was lit more recently. You can also smell food. It's like a stew of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
Fag is gonna close the door behind us.
Corey is vibrating with a silent rage
at the thought of stew?
Yes.
at the thought of those kids who were hungry.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
hungry. They said they just hard for everybody, and I feel like I didn't have to roll for Corey to realize that's a little bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're making some assumptions you haven't quite gotten information on just yet, but that's okay.
Corey is making those assumptions.
And he's allowed to. Well, friends, the door in front of you is again still clearly not locked.
All
I'm gonna
right.
Corey's not going
open the
to. He's not
door.
I'll keep going.
The door gives a nice, slow, almost wooden creak as it slowly begins to open, and you find yourselves immediately filled with, more smells. It's a very light, vegetable-heavy stew filling your noses. And as the door creaks open somewhat, you can hear a voice. Hey, hon. We got company, it sounds like. Is it one of the little ones? Tell them the stew's not ready yet. We're still working on it. I didn't tell them yet. I was keeping it a surprise. Which means these probably ain't planned visitors. You gonna stand there all day? Come on.
He's going last through the door. Y'all can move first.
Yeah, I just imagine like
Yeah, I
all
thought
the
you
little
would.
ones and then Thag.
Yeah.
Giant
Yeah.
stature
Oh,
walks
oh,
through
oh.
the door.
I thought he was gonna like put a hand on the table.
God, that's so
Hello?
funny.
Well, the 5 of you come around, and I'm honestly.
I mean, I figured they know we're here, so like,
Yeah,
Adlo's
I probably should have
not
given a
gonna-
little bit more light, although both of them do both of them have dark vision, funnily enough.
Yeah, so I probably don't need it.
But yeah, I'll work on that, making the light a little bit brighter, so you guys can just see at least a little bit around the room, because I don't think it needs to be dark for the sake of this fight. But yeah, as you step into the room, the light slowly kind of begins to fill the room more. You see 2 people sitting around what looks to be a large, almost like a vault or a through chamber of some kind that's been, obviously made a much more homey with some tables and chairs and a double bed over in one corner. One looks to be a taller servant woman of some kind. You can see she does not have antlers, but has ears that kind of flow backwards somewhat behind her, and a big bright red scarf about her neck. And although they are obviously sheathed and next to her, as she is still like sitting in a chair and looking over a large pot over in the corner, next to her against the table looks to be a long scimitar and a dagger, which she's already kind of slowly putting a hand on top of. Across from her, on the other side of the room, looks to be a smaller, more slender-looking Vulpin. A red bandana about his head and sort of like black markings under his painted under his eyes, and it's kind of like slightly silver in coat. And set in front of him, almost like on a pillow, kind of in his lap, are a pair of flintlock pistols. Oh, new friends. Hate to say I don't think we made enough for guests, but welcome to make yourselves comfortable. What can I do you for?
Before that happens, can I just see if I recognize the make of those flintlock pistols?
You can tell. Yeah, give me an investigation roll, actually, if you don't mind. I like that.
Sure.
I like that a
Like
lot.
that's like the first thing Coral's gonna notice is like, huh, interesting you have those.
Mhm.
Guns.
I think with your dark vision on a 10, you're not able to get a good look at them because again they're mostly in his lap still. But you can tell, especially because you don't see. There's not like you can actually you can see on like the pistol you don't get a good look at. They just look like good looking flintlock pistols. They clearly appear functional. You can tell that all the mechanisms seem unjammed and everything. They are battered though. They don't look like they are in the best shape. And while you do see a very spare set of tools on the table in front of him, like a small screwdriver and a rag, it's much more for cleaning and upkeep and not for someone who's actively maintaining these guns, which gives you the impression he didn't make these.
Okay. Huh. Impressive.
Got them from a
He
friend.
did ask who we were. Well, sorry.
No, he did. Yeah. Well, first he's welcome in, but he's waiting for that. At first he said, "What can I do you for?"
Yeah, sorry. That's what I interrupted you. You go.
But I'm assuming gawking at my pieces ain't what you came here to do. So, introductions are usually what happen first.
Yeah, so my name's Thag, and me and these guys, we were told to help take care of the bloodied Fang problem.
Is that what we are now? A problem? The woman across the bar chuckles somewhat. They always find clever words, don't they? Can't see what the problem personally is. I take care of my people, ensure we have the best that we can, and when we don't, we make do. Occasionally making do might inconvenience some folks, but needs must. Yeah?
Those folks use the word bandit, not problem.
Folks use a lot of words for a lot of things. Why does that matter to me? The woman speaks up again. I think they're implying they're here to apprehend us, darling. And he goes, really? But dinner's almost done.
We could eat first. I don't mind.
He looks over. Tala, estimation? She says, frankly, should be about perfect. She says, I was going to get first into the kids, though. You all haven't done anything with the kids, I assume. Have you? And she closes her hands around the scimitar.
No, they're sitting in their little hidey hole.
Okay, we might
quirks
have
an eyebrow.
spoiled their dinner, though. I'm sorry.
It's exactly
Yeah.
the bit I was about to do.
Like, we
I would like a clarification question here, Foxy. We know for sure they've killed people in the town, right? Like that's
Yeah.
the bit.
These
Yeah,
bandits
guys.
killed the speaker's son.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If Thag is seriously saying and doing that, Corey is going to step in front of him and start taking charge as much as he hates it, because he's kind of pissed at Thag at this point, unless he is clearly joking.
Thag's kind of half joking. He's trying to like get a read on these people because on one hand, they killed somebody in town. On the other hand, they're being kind of nice to the kids a little bit.
Also, we killed one of their own,
By-
so we can't even
By
really talk.
forcing the children to do crimes. We're not
Or
taking them with
teaching them
us.
what
We're not
they
going to
know.
have to be murder children.
Hey, it's almost like things are complicated, friends.
Yeah.
Any case,
but it-
Lucian, Thag, do you mind giving me a quick, like, I'll accept, like, insight or perception here?
Sure, I'll give you an insight.
Absolutely. Ooh, an 18's a
Ooh,
good
Nice
roll.
insight.
That would have been a
So-
crit.
Here's the vibe I'll give you. I'll give you this, Thag. You're at first like vibe. These people are being very welcoming to what's obviously people who are coming to arrest or hurt them. Obviously, like you all didn't walk in here fucking without your weapons. They all know what's up. This is not like they're not unaware of what's happening, but they're being very welcoming and friendly and keeping things, casual. Mostly because that's the vibe right now. However, it does not take a blind man to recognize Sylv's hand has not gone more than 6 inches from his pistol at any given point in this conversation. If at any single point it looks like it's about to get violent, he's putting a bullet in the first one of you he can. Like, this is the
he's
calm
holding
before the
his
storm.
weapons.
They're all cool. Like, if you got, and again, nobody's like, there was no like sly smile or some like, hey, I got you when he offered dinner. If you intended to sit and eat dinner, they were gonna sit and eat dinner. But these people understand that at some point, this encounter is going to turn to violence. And when that happens, they are prepared for it. What's the call, friends?
Yeah, also Katya
We having a
said
meal?
that like 100% seriously. We 100% ruined the dinner.
Yeah.
Tala
I
does
just-
give a chuckle at that.
But I don't think Corey like really says or does much in that. He's here to technically help, and it's probably looking to Katia of like the person who's from this town that probably knows the people who died. What she's gonna do. And I'm fine to talk about it out of character, but I don't. Corey's not gonna say much to these people. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time with it, friends. It's not the easiest mortal dilemma to put you in episode 3.
It's like
Yeah,
Personally,
no, it's rough.
we asked them firmly but politely to leave, and the kids will get the stew. Would be Corey's vote if we were talking it out.
That's also a choral vote if that's
So,
what, if we're gonna
Real
talk.
quick,
if-
what did the people in town want us to do with them?
Drive the bandits away so they don't stop attacking him.
Yeah. I
Was
mean,
that it?
That's technically the limits of what we could get away with under the idea
as
of
of
dealing with the bandits.
if you don't mind, I
Yeah.
will say the speaker was, when pressed on the issue, did kind of make it clear he wants them gone. Now, again, you can recognize he was definitely speaking from some personal pain, having recently buried his son.
Mhm.
But well, again, y'all were told to clear them out. That's those your exact instructions were to clear them out and ensure they would not be able to be a threat to Narth anymore. That was the instructions you were given. What that means to you all? Well.
Yeah, that's Corey's bare minimum is they leave and never return. We actually think they might do it. For him to be okay with this.
Tell you what, let's do this, friends. I like the tense tension we're sitting in right now. It's as you're all sitting, this very tense camera panning across multiple wide shots of all your confused faces and emotions running. You hear a slight chair squeak as Tala stands up and shambles over toward the pot, picks up a bowl from a rack in the corner over by a tossed over chair, grabs a ladle, fills it with stew, shifts her hooves somewhat to grab another, and then a third. Why don't you all be a dear and take this to the kids? Then we'll come back and have a chat over some nice food.
I mean, if no one's
And
gonna
I
do
think,
it,
yeah.
I mean, if
And I
no
think
one's else going to do it, Coral is absolutely going to do that because I think Coral has the most rapport with the kids right now.
Well, I'll say
Adlo would
anybody who
probably
wants to.
also volunteer for taking food to hungry children.
Well, between two of you, that's 4 hands, which is more than enough for 3 bowls. So,
Mm.
Adlo and Coral, you're able to walk over to Tala. And again, while she clearly still has her, like she brought the rapier and dagger with her when she got up, and they're in the other hand as she's kind of like, she put them against the pot for a bit and brings them back up the moment she puts the ladle down. She doesn't draw them at all as you approach. She hands you the 3 bowls, gives you a cute little shooing motion off down the hallway, puts them back down, and goes to start making more bowls. And as our party prepares for perhaps the strangest dinner they've ever had, why don't we give ourselves a nice little break to refuel, defuel, and otherwise reset yourselves. So we'll be right back. Touch not that dial nor that browser, and we'll return with you more story for you in just a moment. The end of it. And we rejoin our friends in what, actually, I'm going to go with tension scene music. Why not? And we rejoin our friends in what appears to be a bit of a trepidatious dinner. After an evening of low quiet and discussion and simple passing around of food, Coral and Adlo, you were able to deliver 3 bowls of stew, and they're pretty hearty-looking bowls to the 3 children, who appear incredibly thankful and are just, and you can't even they don't talk to you because their heads are fully in their bowls by the moment you hand them down. Obviously, you return to the group, and you're all offered much smaller, clearly, bowls of stew because they're trying to ration out, obviously. You gotta make sure they feed the rest of their bandits. But they are, each of you is certainly offered a portion of stew if you would like. It's a, hearty little broth with some chunky potatoes and some other small, roots and vegetables they managed to scrounge up in it.
Corey has leaned himself against this corner back here, and he just shakes his head. He is trying to give as little away as possible as a man who can't lie.
Tala takes the bowl that she is, holding out to you and, takes it back and spins it somewhat on a finger and slides it sort of over towards Coral.
Coral is not even paying attention and is just staring at whatever reliefs is just investigating whatever reliefs are on the pillars over here.
She takes
He
it
does
back,
that.
looks over to Katya, hands one down,
Yeah, if it's offered, she'll accept.
Yeah. looks back at Coral. Does she do that often?
Yeah,
Yes.
Interesting.
special interest.
I'm
And she
just
looks over at-
saying, this is pre-deluge. This is a pre-deluge temple. What we could learn from this.
She looks over, cuts her eyes over, camera follows to Sylv, who is still in the corner cleaning his pistols somewhat. No, I understand.
See, he gets
Gee.
it.
he lays up, huh? And of course, she just swings back over. Adlo, she lowers a bowl towards you.
You have my thanks.
Enjoy. Thag?
Thag has taken a decent sized loaf of bread out of his pack and ripped it into sort of chunks. Hey, Katya, and throws a chunk of bread at her.
Oh. Okay.
Puts one on the table for Adlo. He'll take the bowl and go, bread?
Mighty kind. Rips off a small portion and just, I'm sorry we couldn't offer you a bigger bowl.
It's alright. I understand times are tough.
As they are. She puts the bowl down in front of Sylv and almost pats the back of his head. Stop playing and eat. Yes, ma'am. And it'll kind of again, pistols go back into his lap, and he kind of just wheels himself around it in his sort of seat and starts to kind of, thumb at his stew somewhat.
Any
She'll
bread
walk
for
back-
you, Sylv?
Don't mind if I do, actually. And he'll kind of like pick up a small little like knife from next to him and kind of jab into the bread somewhat, pull off a little bit, and well made.
Yeah, I bought it a couple towns back. Glad it's stayed good so long.
Good bread stays good for good. She takes a seat back down, and at this point, you all kind of are able to, again, enjoy some nice, calm, quiet time. The fire slowly roaring around you and stew being consumed. Tala keeps her eyes moving between all of you and does take a moment to kind of settle her eyes on you, Katya, for a bit and just... You don't look familiar, but it's something in your face. You aren't from North, are you?
Can I vibe check that?
Sure.
It's like, will it be a good or a bad thing that I am?
I would just like to say, I think Corey is doing
Oh
that
no,
like
it's a
fairly
knife.
consistently. And I think I'll wait until like later to actually roll, but I think that's just Corey is getting a vibe of this before he thinks it gets violent.
Sure. Seems like simple curiosity, Katya.
Okay. Yeah, no, I feel like lying to these people is a bad idea. Yeah, at least in Katya's brain. Yeah. Just like, yeah, no, I am.
She leans in somewhat and just... There's no way you're a Musteya, are you?
Maybe.
I swear, the things your family can do with those fireworks, it's a wonder to watch, sometimes even from all the way over here. You get high enough up in the tree, you get a beautiful view of the festival sometimes.
Well, I mean, that's actually kind of the goal. All the other people.
I don't think Corey. Sorry, you finish.
Oh, it's like, I mean, yeah. Far as the eye can see is kind of, that's incredible. It can actually go that high.
Well, you do good work.
I think Corey can't help himself and just. Yeah, I'm sure it's a great distraction. Everyone's looking up.
She turns her head around and just... Okay, so I think I've got this figured out. She wheels her finger around to Thag. Big, strong heart of the team. Brave and noble guardian, looking at Adlo. Ever-curious explorer. Whimpery little sorry, not whimpery, not the word I'm little, chaotic little scamp. And you must be tall and broody.
No reaction. He's not moving. He's dead to rights. He has nothing to say.
Well, we only just met, what, 2 days ago?
Really? Still cuts in. You all seem like such fast friends. I mean, waltzing on into our home, and speaking of which, you wouldn't happen to know what's happened to most of my guys, would you?
One is dead. The rest are fine.
He leans back somewhat. Ain't that a damn shame? He leans back somewhat. She says, he takes death pretty hard.
So does the speaker.
No, see, Corey is gonna insight check how honest that is. He
Go
takes
ahead.
Death's hard.
You are yeah.
Doing this at this point.
Please go ahead.
I'm losing on this
Give me
one.
the insight.
23.
You have never heard a more honest statement. The way Sylv slinks back in his chair after hearing that one of his guys dies, and in fact, that worked perfectly because Katya, when you say so does the speaker, he flinches.
I'm guessing most people are like done eating for the most part.
Yeah, they weren't very big bowls.
Okay. Thang's gonna kind of turn to Sylv and go, so what exactly is the deal with your group and Narth and the speaker? We only really got one side of the story, and I've done my fair share of traveling. Every coin has two sides.
Sylv takes another bite of bread from the knife and then sticks the knife down on the table. My people don't hit Narth a lot unless things get real desperate. Winter's closing in and we ain't got enough stocked up. Harvests look a little bare. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Try to keep it clean when we can. Hit the edge of the town, fetch a couple of fields, scare a few people off, and maybe, if you get a little too rowdy, someone's gotta get hurt. Just the way things go sometimes. Unfortunately, and Tala picks up at this point, our last endeavor was intercepted by guard almost immediately. We were desperately low on stock and thought it was best we pushed through. Thought we could simply blitz past them, perhaps? Scare a few people, shock and awe them? Maybe kill a guard if we had to. I lost my footing. It was over me. Spear to my throat. Did what I had to do. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Told I'm a bad guy. Sure, Sun wasn't that bad either, but
But
it's the law of the savage wild. Sometimes you gotta know when to kill.
You realize you can't really stay here anymore, right?
Realized that the moment you five walked in. Question is, and he leans back somewhat, is how that goes from here.
In my head, the lean back is like just a little bit more towards his guns. I
Oh,
don't think,
absolutely.
Yeah, like Corey doesn't hide that he's like just a little bit more off of the wall, if that makes sense. Like he's just because he's in this leaning position. It's just how ready is he at any given moment is the question.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's going to kind of speak up a little more. So let's say theoretically,
Mm-hmm.
we let you walk. What would your plans be after this?
Well, I got people who still gotta be fed, even if there's less of them now. So I guess we'd find somewhere else to take nest. Even if for some reason North was no longer an option, well, it's a big wood.
Got a fair number of people. Any thoughts of doing any more above board work, as say mercenaries or guards for caravans or something?
Might be a bit harder to craft than you think. You know, word travels. People like us, we get rep when we start taking our kind of work. Not saying it's impossible, but definitely be a lot harder to scratch out than just taking what we can. Tala does pipe up. Hard doesn't mean we shouldn't. That makes a point.
If you could get... Go ahead.
Just Corey wants to ask a question, and the goal is not to like persuade them to tell the truth; it's to see if they lie. And it's he just as clear as possible in the silent part. Just was he the first person you've killed?
Sylv looks up at you, Corey, and even though even though the words he says are, you really gonna ask me that question? I think the answer is very clear. No.
Yep. Passive perception wins out. I'm down with that. No. Yeah. Corey's not gonna say anything about that. That's just a tick on how much he buys this.
If I could offer you consistent employment, would you stop doing any of your... What's the word I'm looking for?
Savage wildry.
Banditry was the word I was gonna go with out of character.
You're taking what you can.
He leans up and says, if it were entirely my call, you might just have a bargain I could offer you. Unfortunately, the kind of life that we lead ain't one you just get to walk away from. Other parties might have words about that.
Which other parties?
Tala leans back. Clem.
Clem.
Klen, sorry, I slurred a bit there on that one. K-L-E-N-N is the name. He's, well, if the Bloody Fang can have anything that sounds like a leader, it's him. Not because he's smarter than most or more cunning than most, but because if you have any questions about that, you're probably already dead.
Right, and how does he keep track of you?
Well, it's simple. Any bandit that's not Bloodied Fang who operates around the Bloodied Fang gets murdered. You either fly his flag, or you're as good as dead.
Right.
Sylv pipes up again. It might be a big endless wood. That doesn't mean it's a big place. It's a big place for everybody. Word travels. Someone like me pops up doing some honest work somewhere. Somebody who knows me will get it to somebody who shouldn't.
Okay. Well, I don't know if we really signed up to deal with the leader of the Bloodied Fang.
Deal with. This kid's talking like he's gonna walk right up to him, give him a good tap on the head, and suddenly this whole wood's all cleared up of banditry. I like you. I do, kid.
Listen, I know it's not that easy. I'm just saying. I'm here to solve the problem between you and Narth.
So what happens to my boys then? They get employed too? They all get to just walk away from this?
I mean, how much
And you-
does the tippity top of this know about them?
That's a good question.
And you keep him in line?
Doing a good enough job of it as I am, yeah?
Sure enough.
Tala laughs. As if you're the one handing out discipline around here. When did that start happening? Oh, come on. Let me save some face in front of the guests.
Ah, fuck it. I've got a soft spot for the kids already. And Thag's gonna flip over his coin to Sylv.
What's this supposed to be?
That's one of my 3 personal coins with the Shrubs family.
He
No matter
blinks.
his...
Fuck, kid, you're a shrubs?
Yeah, I don't really like flaunting it, but yeah.
I have a question, just really quick. How well known is this like idea of these 3 coins? Because Corey grew up in the same city.
In that case, Corey definitely knows of the coins. He
Yeah.
might not know that each family member gets a certain limited number, but he
Yeah,
knows that the
he
coin
knows that
means
they're, like,
something, essentially.
Important, like,
Yeah.
tokens of.
Yeah.
Corey is staring daggers at Thag that you have just handed a symbol of your trust, effectively.
That'll get you employment at any business operated by the Shrubs. Essentially, no questions asked.
He quirks an eyebrow at you. You know how this is my hand? I could just shoot you all right now and just walk out with this as my getaway free card.
You could try.
That would raise some questions with the Shrubs family if I was, found dead and somebody was using my coin. See the hammer on the other side?
Flips it.
That means it's tied to me.
Looks over at the hammer for a moment. One conceded. Pockets it. Won't lie, kids. You put me in a bit of a bind. Looks down. You, Gerbane. You're awful quiet. Where you landing on this one? Bold and chivalrous?
I myself would prefer to see this end without violence. We did make a promise, after all. But ultimately, I suppose that choice is yours.
He looks over at Tala. She shrugs her shoulders somewhat. He picks up one pistol in his hand, places it on the table, picks the other one up, spins it, places it on the table. Oh, what the hell? That's better than doing nothing, I suppose. All right. Let's say it this way, then. You give me the next day and a half to get clear out of this place. We'll be gone before the festival hits, and North will never see the like of us again. On that one, you can have my personal word.
I mean,
Great.
narratively, Corey rolls insight on that. I don't know that it. It's
Yeah,
because
honestly,
I doubt it as much.
Thag will as well.
Yeah,
Go on.
23 is pretty good.
Adlo will too.
Go for it, Adlo.
Jeez, that's 2 23s in a row.
That's pretty good.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
that's not good.
Aw.
Adlo is not the wise.
That's not a problem. I think ultimately, I think it's rolling the insight here. I think there's no obvious sign of a lie in his gesture, Tate. Like there doesn't have any tell of like, oh yeah, he's bluffing, he's bullshitting.
Yeah.
Like it does seem as if he's giving this some weight in his head, kind of measuring you all up, and yeah, he stands up. I would, if I could, actually, yeah, nah, never mind. All right. Well, if you give me some time to bury my dead, wake up the rest of my boys who might be out of it, and make what we can of ourselves, we'll be scarce in a day.
Yeah, just with that coin tying you to me now, that does technically go both ways. Anything you do can and will reflect on me. So at the end of the day, if you really need help, just tell somebody. They'll shoot me a message somehow. Is what it is.
You know? Okay, he says, looking around at all of you for a moment, and then Tala almost picks up the sentence, almost instinctively. Not how I thought today was going to go.
Well, I wasn't expecting to stumble upon a pre-deluge temple, so I guess we're having a whole bunch of surprises today, aren't we?
She says, "Ah, that is a good reminder." And she, kind of fishes inside. And again, this is not a woman who seems to have a lot of care for personal modesty or like worry about that kind of thing. Just pulls the scarf down a little. There's absolutely some deer cleavage if you want to imagine it. That's fine. Have fun.
I'd rather
And
not.
she leans down and pulls from the scarf what looks like almost like a slender kind of multifaceted key structure that ends in a hexagonal symbol. If you like that, you'll love what's in the other room.
Oh, thank you so much. And like Coral is absolutely going to like walk over to Tala and just like I don't know, give like a little bit of like a brush on the shoulder, just
She leans over.
thanks.
We can do hugs. I hug.
Coral's just like that's like looks down at her armor, looks at Tala. If you want to be just uncomfortable.
She, again, it's a pretty tall deer. Leans over, almost pats your shoulders a little bit. She leans over. And the quiet one. You're okay with all this?
I think at this moment he is not saying like she's I'm here to help them.
you know,
She leans-
and like Coral's gonna like lean closer. I was down for a fight, so make sure you reflect well on Thagrius over here.
She tilts her head somewhat.
We'll know if you don't.
She tilts her head somewhat. I have the feeling crossing blades with you all would have been very fun. It's a shame. Maybe some other time.
Should we meet again?
For
I would
fun,
relish
right?
Go on.
I would relish the battle.
Hmm.
I have one
Oh.
more request to make, however. The young ones. It seems that you care for them, and as a fellow Gerbian, I can't deny that I have some concern as well. You know where this life can lead. And I believe that they deserve better than that. Or if nothing else, they deserve to make the choice for themselves. We can see to it that they are taken care of. All I ask is that you give them the choice, or give them a chance to make their own choice, whether to stay with this group or not.
She looks at you and fixes you with a very, very focused stare. In fact, it almost seems like she's probably insight checking you right now for a brief moment. We've never forced them to stay. We just tried to keep them close to keep them safe. We taught them what we could, but unfortunately, when you live one way, you mostly only know one way. If there's better you can offer them, we'd welcome it.
I'm glad that at least on that, we can see eye to eye.
She tilts her head over somewhat.
Says the small mouse to the tall G.
Exactly.
She tilts her head over someone.
Like
Just, you sure about that?
He can jump real high.
I can jump really high.
Fun fact, so can she.
Turns out deer are real good at jump.
30-foot standing leap, actually.
Well, goddamn. What's the fall damage like?
Jesus.
Good question, actually. She's a deer. Nonetheless, she does kind of say, like, you know, they do seem like they'll shoo you off and let you all go. And there is one last room you've now been given a key to. If you'd like to go and check it out, friend, that's more than fine.
Corey is going to wait to be the last person in the room of the group that's leaving.
Fair enough.
Before
if you
just
want-
give everyone other stuff you want to say first. But...
I was just gonna say, like, if you want,
No, this is not going to be an intimidation roll. Like, I don't need to do a roll here if you were going to suggest that.
yeah, I was thinking
he's
about
not
just
going
like,
to go like,
yeah, I was
Oh, he just
absolutely
basically
going to
just
give you
doesn't
guidance
care
so
if
you can do an
they-
ability check with plus D1
But ju-
D4.
I think Corey is going to say something to them that he doesn't care if they're intimidated or not. He doesn't care if they believe him or not. It is simply a true statement. And he doesn't actually care about their reaction. He is simply giving them fair warning. So again, unless there's something else, I think that Corey is just standing there as they leave. And he has stood pretty stock still through most of this, as much as he could. And he's just... Bandits. You've heard the phrase, no crime can hide beneath the moon. I need you to understand. My friends have made at least 10 very serious mistakes over the course of this conversation. I will not make any. Don't disappoint them. And tell those kids that I was wrong about you.
Syl fixes you with a hard stare for a moment. Nods. And kind of gestures towards the door.
Oh, and tell them it was the mean rabbit who was wrong about you. Didn't keep that promise. And he'll leave.
Hey, Mustea girl. You mind doing me a solid?
Maybe?
You see the speaker. You tell him I'm sorry about his kid.
I can do that.
Appreciate it. Now, if you feel like waking those people up, darling, they should eat. Otherwise, I'm grabbing seconds. She turns over. I'll let them sleep in a bit more. You can have some more. Go on, you animal. And friends, you are free to depart as you wish towards any other personal goals.
So
Just making a fucking
has
deal.
Corey been? Corey's real mad at Thag now, yeah.
He thinks that you're all idiots, but he is probably more particularly mad at Thag. Yeah, probably is the most. He is silent about it. Like, again, there's no difference in operating procedure. He is just a little bit silently vibrating with rage. Less so now than when he thought they were feasting while the kids were starving, clearly, but
Yeah,
he still does not like them.
is this something like does Thag notice? Do you think? Like, is Corey trying to hide it?
No, I think that Thag knows he has to look at Corey closely to understand what's going on under, like, beneath the very professional, like, cloak that hides all these things.
All right, cool. Then Thag's gonna want to have a one-on-one conversation with Corey at some point, whether that's like
Yeah.
here before they, or like outside the room while the rest go into the ruin room or whatever. Is up to the group, but I don't really mind.
Yeah,
Could be whenever.
however y'all want to do it.
It's gonna depend on what the room looks like. Or you might want to be in there. We'll see.
The door's not opening, Christ. It's locked.
Because like I haven't unlocked it. Calm down, Michelle. Goddamn.
No column, only
Jesus.
ruins.
It was all captured on stream, by the way. I just followed all of it.
Just fucking zoom.
Yeah.
Fucking god. This Coral fucking
Clink,
puts
clink,
it
clink,
over the
clink,
corridor.
clink armor.
Okay, first off, Coral is in her infiltrator armor, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
Yeah,
not
so it's
like
actually
the
perfectly
hallway.
silent. It's eerily silent, actually.
Oh god, that's so funny.
Fucking
All
guy
right,
that
all
runs to the
right.
music.
All right, okay, all right. I'll stop beating you over the head with it. I'll say, it does seem like as you approach this door, it is again very, very old. And while it does seem like it's been opened occasionally here or there a few times, it does seem like it's nowhere near. It is the least frequently used door in this place, unquestionably. But
Lock is so complicated.
you're able to insert the sort of hexagonal piece through, and as you kind of push to the end of that, you then realize you have to like spiral the key into place in the seal with several long turning cranks. And eventually, it slots perfectly in. There's a slight shudder as not the wall, but the door itself kind of repositions itself a little bit, and you hear a soft click as it unlocks.
Finally!
The blood gems, where are they?
The body pillows, where are they?
all right,
I
all
love-
right.
I love the idea that Coral does, like, finally, then, oop. But Corey's like, it's fine, they know we're here now.
It's
Now
like,
we got
you know
it.
what? That was done in character then.
All right.
This looks interesting.
You step through and into a large sort of, rectagonal room. While it is clearly still ruined, like every other place around here, steps have clearly been taken to keep this place as neat as possible. It's not as dusty. There aren't cobwebs gathered in the corners. There are no broken pots scattered here or there. This place is reverently maintained by somebody. And given that you, just got the key from one specific person, you wager it's probably Tala. There are two large plinths on either side of the room, which appear to almost be perfect mirrors of each other, in form at least. As you approach them, you start to realize that they are covered, layer and layer and layer, in ancient scripture. Cuneiform codes and lines of hieroglyphics that you're certain you don't think there are even records for this language in the history books. Arcana Objectivas probably doesn't know this language exists. This might be the oldest language in the Endless Wood. Of course, for that reason, translating it as you are right now is probably mostly impossible. I'm sorry. Thankfully, though, I don't think you'll need it too much. As you can see, interesting patterns, hieroglyphs, pictures going all around the walls of this room, and they almost mirror some of the ones you saw on that pillar. The forest folk gathering before the gods disappearing in the great mystery, and in their aftermath, the sentinels. There are more pictures and patterns depicting more events throughout history, but this is a history room. It's a room of record and memory, and well, then you realize there's this giant, whatever the fuck this is, in the middle of the room. And this is probably where I'm going to start asking anybody who wants to maybe make a roll. Probably history. I'll allow religion.
Sure, what do I have to lose?
Or perception. Also allowed.
All of
The
these
only
are
thing
plus
Corey
0 for
might
me. I'm just
like
gonna...
Corey is definitely gonna draw all of these. The only thing he might do is if there's like an obvious creature, he might roll nature to see like, oh, what is that thing? But other than that, he's not actually that interested in this history.
Can I try an Arcana check or no?
5.
Michelle,
They're
I
so
would
pretty.
love an Arcana check right now.
If only I debated that advantage.
Hey, Michelle,
Yeah?
do you want advantage?
No, no. I'll cut you
no.
a deal.
I'll cut you a deal if you
Or
want
is it
advantage, Michelle.
Really big next episode. Is that's
Actually, you know what? You know what? Fuck the deal, Michelle. You need this. I'm giving you the advantage.
Ooh.
this is your
With a
specific
24.
talent.
So as you guys are looking for, looking around the room, it's obviously you're taking in all the record and history and memory of this place. And Katya, you're just looking at all the various, inscriptions and pictures all over that depict these wild and unique scenes. Adlo, you're kind of, keeping an eye on that other plinth on the side and seeing that, like, there's a figure. There is a central, almost forest folk-like figure drawn, almost low and supplicating and pointing towards this central figure. Coral, this central figure is a geometric, strange statue in an oblong shape that doesn't quite perfectly map mathematically in your brain. Like, you can't exactly calculate its dimensions. It shouldn't make sense. But you're not thinking about this in terms of science. You're almost as if drawn to it. Feel magic in this place. And not magic in the way it feels like today's magic. Not this ambient presence in the air that people can almost draw into themselves and pull through and sieve into reality in small miracles. This is base. This is universal. This is a cosmological singular presence running under the bones of this place. This is a ley line. It's one of the primal nexus focal points of energy running through the endless wood. And although it is nowhere near the amount of power you know this thing should contain, it is still infinitely vast. And the moment you reach your presence out to it, almost as if it pulls you down for a brief moment, you know what this is, you know where this is, and you know what this statue represents, what this ley line birthed. Al Yawea, the Myriad. This room is not a room of record. It's a shrine of creation. This place, this ley line, is where one of the sentinels was born.
What is it, Coral?
Appropriate reaction.
I think Coral is just like if you could see Coral's face right now, it is like jaw dropped, stupefied, shocked, like pupils dilated.
It looks like you've seen a ghost. Is there a ghost in here?
Do we feel that this place is very magic if we don't have like magic that we do? Like I don't have
I
any.
think there's a presence in the air.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Like a ghost.
There's a heaviness to the air you can almost feel. It's like without really knowing any single thing about this place, you
Mhm.
can tell this place is singularly important.
Yeah. Just curious, because I do feel like it does feel like the kind of thing that you would just sense if you were there, and Corey is probably a little cowed by it. It's like this arena he doesn't know how to experience. He could just tell, like, yeah, it's magic as hell. I don't want anything to do with that if I can manage it.
Sunshine, you don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels funny in here.
I feel like Coral would probably explain, but
Yeah. This place. This place was where Aliaway was born. They were born from this, and Coral's gonna is going to point with a shaking finger. This ley line nexus.
Wow.
the Titan, the
Yeah.
mythical creature. I mean, not mythical as in fake, but in like mythic.
Coral gives like a very shaky nod. Yes. That Aliawaya.
I always wondered why we ended up settling here. A voice calls back down the hallway. Sylv said he scouted it, but even before he brought us here, I knew. Something about this place drew us, sheltered us. And then I found this key and this room, and I realized she was calling to us. Can you hear her? The soft, low earthquake rumble of her voice, everywhere the earth is.
Katya listens very closely.
And Katya, while you don't hear a rumbling, you do hear effectively what sounds like a light bit of mental twinkling. As, while you might not hear something, something in the back of your brain certainly does. She is slumbering somewhere in this earth, resting from wounds. She ails. I can hear her sometimes.
Corey's going to start walking around the room and just not trying to capture every shape, but just the writing and then like the shape of the structure in front of it. Like he's finding a job to do. He clearly is upset about having to do it, but though.
Fag, she steps in past you. A hand does slide gently across your hammer a little. I feel there is a hanging about all of you. Stink like destiny. There is certainly a reason the 5 of you are here. I believe even she knows that.
Thag is gonna groan. Not you too with the destiny.
She turns. It finds us when we least expect it to. That's the wonderful thing about it.
Corey's going to get to Coral. Just Is this good? Am I missing anything as the expert? I want to make sure I have all the important parts.
Jagged, you are amazing. This is perfect.
Cool, then let's go.
You don't want to try
If-
to feel the ley line? You've got your own sort of.
Nope. Not even any magic at all. And all I know is this kind of power doesn't stay alone for long. It's not something you play with. It's dangerous. We're doing them a favor by having them leave at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Eventually, someone's going to want it. I'd rather not be here when they do. And Corey's gonna, if he's not needed for anything, I think he actually just fully will exit the scene out to the, in front of the tree.
Go on. You're all free to leave. She doesn't seem to be stopping you. In fact, she just appears to be like quietly just enjoying the space. I hope you all will be safe wherever you travel to next. I hope whatever destiny finds you, it greets you warmly, with open arms and bright eyes.
Thag is going to take a step into the room and try to see if he feels anything like the others. Is there a check you want for that?
If you could, how do I want to handle this? How do I want to handle this? Lucian, give me a flat D20 if you don't mind. Just a flat
A
D20.
flat D20.
Just a flat old D20
Okay.
for me, buddy.
How's an 18?
Hey, Lucian,
Yeah.
when the session's over, evolve your hammer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sheesh.
You step into the room, and Fag, you don't feel anything. In fact, I think if you will, Fag, if you don't mind me shaping the scene for a brief moment here,
Yeah,
you
go
kind of
for it.
step in and almost kind of close your eyes, and like you're just kind of standing in place trying to feel everything, and you're like, I don't know what's going on here. You open your eyes, everyone's looking at your back. Your hammer is glowing and not dramatically, but slightly, ever subtly shifting, morphing slightly. A slight, soft light emanating from it.
Why are you guys looking at me like that?
It's actually Syl from back of the room. That always do that?
Does what always, and as Thag turns his head, he sees the hammer over his shoulder and goes, takes it off and is like, kind of patting it in a weird way.
It's like it's on fire.
Yeah. No. This is the first time it's done this. What? I hope it's
Tala
okay.
chuckles. Tala chuckles. When we least expect it.
What would Destiny want with us, though?
I think the better question is, what do you want from it? Good luck figuring that out.
You can't say that. That's like saying you're better than the gods. That's the most hubris statement you can make. What could
Thanks,
Destiny
gonna-
possibly want with?
Tate, the
Yeah,
gods are all
thank-
gone. We established that already. There's literally no more gods. They're gone.
I'm just saying they left.
True.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The gods
I'm
left.
saying that means Destiny's the last thing kind of like a god.
To some people. Philosophical lessons aside,
Okay.
if you all would like, you're all free to part this space and leave whenever you are ready. I do think, if you would allow me a slight bit of a parting scene, as you all are making your way out, Tala appears to just be standing in the room, and Sylv comes up behind her and just, coming back for more stew, love, or, she turns and just, I'll wait here a while if I could. Savor this. I feel like something special just happened. He rolls his eyes somewhat and just, things I do for love. All right, take your time. You're all free to depart. And though you entered the old hollow seeking banditry, you appear to have found at least a kernel of what could be the truth. And I believe As that parts us, we will take tonight, bring its session to a close. I want to thank everybody here for coming out to another rousing episode of Steel and Arbor. I have been waiting to see this one come to fruition for quite some time now, and I'm very glad to see it there. I have had a great time running our friends through their lovely little adventure, and I would hope to you all have a good time watching us do it. But before I go on any further, let me go on and pass the camera around to my friends one last time. Let them tell you who they are, who they played tonight, where they can be found on the internet, and what other cool things they have coming up. And we're going to go in the old reverse order this time from where I went last time, which means we're starting at the top with Lucian.
Oh shit, that's me. Hey, I'm Lucian. I've been Thag Shrubs. Played our Rune Knight fighter, Hedge. Man, every time I'm like, I wish this was longer. It really shouldn't be, because this is a good length, but man, what a great time every time.
The quality is going to go down if we go longer. This is the right place to end.
Exactly, yeah.
We'll get too manic.
Otherwise, it hits gas leak territory.
Oop, true. Well, anything else you got for us, Lucian?
No, that's it. This is great.
In that case, we pass it on right back over to Tate.
Hello, Twitch, and hello, Internet. Or thank you for watching us. I've been playing Coriander de Clement. My name is Tate Washburn. You can find me at Tate the Terrific on any platform I care to be found on. If you find me somewhere else, no, you didn't. What you should really do is find this channel's Blue Sky account, Neon Lights Roleplay, because that's where several people who are much funnier than me run it, and they make better jokes, and we announce all our cool stuff. Or you can join us on our Discord, where we meme and we stream, and we sometimes pick up cool people for games like this. You'll find me this Saturday running Knights of New Avalon, the Beacon Odyssey game that I don't have the spiel out in front of me. I'm sorry. And then you'll see me back here in 2 weeks, and it'll be great, because this table is always great. That's all I got.
Could not agree more, friend. We're over to Dan now.
Oh, goody. It's me. Oh wait, no. Sorry, Lucian. I don't mean to steal your shtick.
How dare you?
You should say it's also.
But yeah. I'm Land the Dan. I played Adlo. You can find me on Blue Sky at Land the Dan. And I'll be here in 2 weeks, back here again playing a mouse and doing fuck all else in the meantime.
And we love you while you're here for it, frankly. Take it away, Michelle.
Concentrating all of your powers into one show.
Fair enough. Hi, I'm Michelle. I played Coral, our Otterfolk artificer. We didn't get to punch or shoot anyone today. That's fine.
Damn, we could have had a gunfight.
True.
Shit, you're right, yeah.
Which is
Tell
perfectly
that.
fine because her mind has been expanded, and that's it. I got nothing else. I'm here. That's it. I'm here. You'll catch me in 2 weeks. There we go.
Well,
Oh, heck.
I look forward to having you back over in 2 weeks. And before we let you run away, it's Heck.
Yeah, it's me, Sir Heckalot. You know, I'm here. I'm on your screen. I was with Katya today. That was a fun time. You can find me all over the internet at Sir Heckalot, including Twitch, Itch, Blue Sky, etc., etc. Just find me. It's the best place to figure out where I'm going to be in the TTRPG space next. Because I wander a lot and wear a lot of hats and do a lot of things and have a lot of fun while doing it. You know, as I'm kind of going into my next steps into career, you might get to see some cool stuff that I'm doing over a wildlife rehab internship. I'm going to be doing that for a full year, and it's going to be incredible. So if
Hell
you're
yeah.
interested in that kind of thing, definitely stick around and follow. I want to shout out that today is Endangered Species Day. I also want to say that currently in the US, there are changes being proposed that will take protections away from wildlife populations and habitats from a proposed change in the Endangered Species Act. So there is currently public commentary being accepted until May 19th on, you know, reasons why we shouldn't do this. If you don't know, this proposal would take away indirect effects that will end up harming wildlife in many, many ways. So if you're interested in helping out, taking 5 minutes to do that, please go and do that. Please make your voice heard and speak for these populations that can't really speak for themselves. Don't let it get taken away by human greed, please. That is mostly it for me. Just find me here on the channel. I already told you the socials, so that's me.
Thank you for your time and for your important message, Heck. You are always a welcome spot in our sites and on our streams. And of course, somehow, if you don't know who I am by now, folks, I'm Young Foxy, aka Big Foxy, also known as your favorite Fox Phillies finest. If you're looking for me, I'm all over the internet at Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXII. Occasionally, there's no underscore in the middle, so if you can't find one, look for the other. The next place you'll see me on your streams is next Wednesday for another episode of Jump City Sirens, our mass campaign. We are closing in on the end of Arc 1. It's about to get explosive, and I do mean that literally. But before we get that there, you'll also see me back here next Saturday for another episode of Knights of New Avalon, as already described, where I play the littlest guy with the mostest swords. And then, of course, you'll see me the Tuesday after that for another episode of Tis of Divinity Faded Chronicle, where I was a guy with the most swords, and then I lost my best friend, and I'm very sad about it. And then, of course, next Friday, 2 Fridays from now, you'll see me right back here again for the episode of Steel and Arbor. So I am all over Neon Lights Roleplay and all over your screen. So, of course, keep your eyes locked on the socials for seeing my face whenever you feel like it, if that's what you feel like you're into. You fucking weirdo. In any case, you've been incredible. We've been Neon Lights Roleplay. This has been Steel and Arbor, and you have all been wonderful. Be good to yourselves, each other, and all the others around you. Fight the good fight. Keep yourselves alive, friends. We love you, and good night. Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.